So welcome, this is Mother Sharia. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. One of the things that we wanted to talk about was this idea of being spirit warriors. A warrior tends to do things and go places that others just will not go or cannot go. But a warrior does not mean that they're going into fight all the time. Sometimes you have to fight, but most of the time a warrior is someone who is prepared to stand up and be the one that makes the change, be the one that sees the need, sees how it can happen, sees why it needs to happen, and can see beyond the now to what could be. And they are prepared to actually do that. Not just stand there and say, that needs to happen, this is what you can do. They actually are the ones prepared to do that. So we would suggest that Bradley and Caroline are spirit warriors, and the people that come to do work with them also are spirit warriors. And the spirit warrior is something a little bit different to your traditional understanding of warrior, because they don't go into battle for you. They don't necessarily even go into battle, but they work with you and supporting you to do your warrior work, to do that work where you stand up and you do the work. And so when we do circles, when we do constellations, any of the work that we do, it is really this energy of somebody saying, this is enough. I am going to be the agent of change. I am going to be the one that walks into this energy. Sometimes not with courage, sometimes with trepidation, sometimes with fear, but the fact that they know they have to walk into that energy, find out what's there, understand what's there, know why it's there and how it came about, and at the same time knowing that right now this isn't working for us, this isn't appropriate for us now. So still having that conviction to say, I understand why this is here. I empathize with all of the energy that's in here. I respect and honor it, but it has to change. It has to be different. It has to develop, move on, whatever it is, because it's not working for us now. And I am going to be the one that does that. That's a spirit warrior. Yes, there are people in the real world, in the physical world, that do this kind of work. And they do work in the energetic and spiritual world, but they don't consciously know they're doing it. When you consciously know you're doing it, you're a spirit warrior. When you know that's what you're doing. And you know that you're in there not to destroy, not to condemn, but actually to understand and to know and to, with respect, make the changes, because it's no longer serving us. This is a spirit warrior. Caroline and Brad and the work that we do, we are all spirit warriors, not because, yes, of course, in our own lives we do that, but because we are there supporting that person, guiding that person. Sometimes we are in the front, moving them through it. Sometimes we are by the side, having a very sort of equal journey going through, and other times we are behind, holding the space or holding the energy so that they can do their work. Always we are holding the space. And that's the beauty of the work together, because you, the spirit warrior, that is the person who wants to make the change, they can get on with their work, feeling like that they can do the work, and then the space is being held by Brad and Caroline if it's something that's one-on-one. Now, the wonderful thing about circles or journeys in groups is that the group holds the space. And so everybody in the circle or in the journey group will have a different intention. We wanting to work on something very specific. The way that we do the journey and the circles is that everybody speaks. and everybody brings out into the world that energy that is within them, and they bring it out and they lay it out into the circle. And the circle, even though it's not physically bounded, it is like as the people sit in the circle, or it doesn't have to be a circle, it could be a square, it could be any shape, but the fact is that there is an energetic bound to this grouping of this people that are in that grouping. As the energy, as the words and the thoughts and the stress and all of that comes out, it is held in the circle. And everybody has this opportunity. As they set their intention, that as well is held in the circle, in that energetic space. And it starts to work before when people come to the circle. Everything is starting to work. And what is so interesting is that people who know they're coming to circles or journey work in a group will already start to feel the effects before they come. And it's like the whole group has already started. And so that energy grouping and that energy boundary has already been set. So when they come, that support is already there. And so people feel that they can speak. People feel that they can just really express themselves. And people say things in circles that they would never say anywhere else, because they feel that they are free to do it. They feel that this is a space that they can really open up and say what it really is, not what society or what they think they should say, but what it really is. And sometimes they will be poked and prodded to actually say, because sometimes people do hold back a little bit. So that energy is being set up well before the grouping has come, and it's set up by the group. It's a sort of an automatic energetic thing. As soon as the journey circle is announced, or as soon as journey work is going to go ahead, that energy starts to build, and people start to, open up their energy and create that space. So in the journey circle, all of that energy is in there, and the energy is being held by the group. So nobody can ever fall, because the group is holding the energy. And in that situation, Brad and Caroline and myself, because we are always there, we are stewards of that energy. We are stewards, so we are constantly looking at that grouping and that energy boundary, if you like, and what's going in it, and opening up different aspects, and we're always doing that. And then when the journey occurs and people go into their own spirit space, they are like on a cloud of the energy that has been created. So they are being buffered, if you like. And the stewards, Bradley, myself, and Caroline, are there all the time, making sure that that space is being held. So people have an opportunity in this kind of work to really feel like they are the one. They really can feel like they are able to effect change. And they have that freedom of expression and that freedom of self, which is very rare in the world that people live in. When people have their experience of the journey, always we talk about it afterwards, because sometimes things happen in journeys that are incomprehensible, or they seem very clear, but then when you tell the group and when you talk about it, actually it's not what you thought. So there is always discussion after the journey. In that discussion, Bradley is there as the shaman, and I am there through Caroline as the complementary shaman, if you like. When people leave, they feel they can go out into the world with this knowledge and with this experience that they have, but with a feeling of that peace and freedom and that confidence to know about themselves. But the other thing is that one of the things that we are very strong about, if you like, is that when they leave, they have something to hold on to. We often call that an anchor. So when you are going through some sort of change in your life, when you can do a lot of work, but when you are faced with that situation again, that is the point that you make the choice. Sometimes you are not conscious enough to realize at the time that's it, and therefore you go back to the old way. Then you are disappointed. We say to people, never be disappointed. It's part of the process. The fact that you've realized it is the success. So we always try to give people what we call an anchor. And that anchor is, this is what you came in with, and this is what you've discovered and what you're going out with. And over here, perhaps, is where you want to go. To help you and to keep you on that path of where you want to go, we give you something that you've discovered yourself in your journey, and we develop that with you as something that you can take out into the world with you to keep you on your path. So when you are challenged, when these other situations or events do occur, you have something to say, and it might be as simple as, thank you so much for that. However, this is where I'm going now. It could be as simple as that. It could be a visualization. It could be something that you hold on to that reminds you. There are a whole range of different things that come, and they're different all the time because you yourself, as the spirit warrior, have discovered them. And so therefore we are just bringing those in to help you to use those things to go out into the world. Because it's all very well working in the spirit and, spending time in that place, but you live in the physical world. And if you don't have something that can keep you there and keep you on your spirit path, then you will just revert all the time, and the spirit work will become less satisfying and will become perhaps more difficult. So it's always good, if you are on a journey and you're on a path, you have something that keeps you pointing towards that path and not back to where you came from. Another thing that we do, which really exemplifies actually the spirit warrior energy, is mind-body constellations. And these are a very special experience, and not everybody can have this experience or do this experience, because it's very intense and very long-ranging, and the work is demanding, yes, but it's incredibly fulfilling and incredibly, if you want to know more about yourself and your life and where you've come from and where you're going, then mind-body constellation is a really wonderful tool for that. So in the morning of the day spa, we will be doing the journey work, and there will be 3 journeys in that morning. Then in the afternoon, we are doing mind-body constellation. So in the mind-body constellation, the spirit warriors as a group come together to work on one individual. So it's as if joining together, banding together to support one individual and to work with that one individual. And of course, it's the one individual there, but of course you are working across generations, you are working backwards, forwards, and so on. So it's a very interesting work. And many people that do the constellation as participants find that the roles that they get, or the work itself, often mirrors aspects of their own life or highlights aspects of their own life. And so everybody that comes to a constellation is, if you like, meant to be there for different reasons. And so even though you're working with somebody else or for some other thing that's not anything to do with you, there is always this group energy, this group warrior energy where everybody is nourished in some way. Everybody finds something out. And sometimes it's as simple as finding out, oh, I can do this. And that in itself for some people is revelatory, because they feel that they perhaps have nothing to give or very little to give, or they have no skill in the spirit world, or they have no connection there. And then they come and they do a mind-body constellation. They're doing it for somebody else, with somebody else. And in that space, they are free to be who they are and discover aspects of themselves and discover parts of who they are. And it is really very exciting for some people. So the mind-body constellation work is really an enormous gift, not just for the person who is having the constellation, for their ancestors, forward, back, and across. Of course, we mean descendants, if we're going forward. but also for the people that come to participate and assist. For them, it is an enormous gift. So we invite you to this wonderful day. It is a day that you will find yourself being challenged, being truly loved, absolutely accepted without any kind of judgment or prejudice, discrimination. You will feel an element of peace and freedom, and you will also feel an element of achievement and success for yourself and for other people around you. But most importantly, perhaps you will feel that feeling of connection with people that will be very different to you. But at the same time, there is a similarity that makes you feel at home. And you will feel that communion with yourself and with Spirit that will last you and bolster you, uplift you, enrich you for a long time afterwards. Thank you.